make unit conversions in the US system. Now we're going to do this by using identity ratios and dimensional analysis. Now, identity ratios are this. We know that 12 inches is the same as 1 foot. But you don't always want inches in the numerator. So sometimes you might say 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. You have to let the units dictate what the next ratio is. So it's important that you know, again, like 3 feet is the same as 1 yard, which means 1 yard is the same as 3 feet. So every identity ratio can be written 2 ways. All right, let's jump in and do an example. We're going to convert 80 inches to feet. So you always start with what you're given. So I'm given 80 inches. Make it a fraction by putting it over 1. Now, when we think about the next ratio, if we have inches in the numerator, that means we're going to need inches in the denominator because we want to be able to reduce or simplify numerator to denominator. Okay, now I know that 12 inches is the same as 1 foot. So I can do 12 inches is 1 foot. Now at this point, my labels of inches reduce out, and I'm left with 80 feet over 12. Now I can reduce that, right? I can simplify and divide 80 divided by 12, and I get, oops, wrong button, I get 6.6666, goes on forever, feet. So if you're rounding to a decimal, great, you can do that. But sometimes you want an answer of like this many feet, this many inches. Okay, so I know that my answer is, 6 feet. But I have leftover. So let's think about this. If I have 6 feet and there are 12 inches in 1 foot, that means there are 72 inches in 6 feet, right? This is like my little thought bubble over here. So if I started with 80 inches and I took out 72 of them because they're represented with the 6 feet, then I have 8 inches left over. So this would be 6 feet, 8 inches as an answer in 2 parts. So you can either write it as a decimal and round, or you can write it as an exact feet and inches. Let's do another one. Let's convert 12,000 pounds to ton. I start with what I'm given, 12,000 pounds. Again, because I have pounds, it's all about the labels. Because I have pounds in the numerator, I'm going to put pounds in the denominator of my next one. And the identity ratio is that 2,000 pounds is equal to 1 ton. So 2,000 pounds is equal to 1 ton. And that's the label I want to be in. So my label of pounds goes away, and I have 12,000 ton over 2,000. I divide 12,000 divided by 2,000, and I end up with 6 ton. Comes out nicely, nice, even answer. Let's convert 4.2 miles to inches. Okay, again, what do I start with? 4.2 miles. And because miles is in the numerator, I'm going to put them in the denominator. 5,280 inches. Nope, wrong button. 5,280 feet is 1 mile. I know that. Okay, so that means 1 mile is 5,280 feet. That's the identity ratio that I know. This makes my miles go away. But I need to be in inches. So I say, okay, now I'm in feet. Feet's in the numerator, so feet is going to go in the denominator. And again, I know that 12 inches is the same as 1 foot. So 1 foot is 12 inches. So that makes my label of feet disappear. So I'm going to multiply 4.2 times 5,280 times 12. And that gives me an answer of 266,112 inches. That's in 4.2 miles. Okay, let's do a couple more. Convert 3.5 gallons to pints. Okay, so what do we start with? 3.5 gallons. Okay, so gallons is going to go down here. What do I know about gallons? Well, 4 quart is the same as 1 gallon. Okay, so 1 gallon, 4 quarts. Get rid of gallons. Is that what I want? No, I want pint. So I got to do something else. Okay, so quarts goes in the denominator. What do I know about quarts? Well, 2 pint is 1 quart. Okay, so 1 quart is 2 pints. That makes my quarts go away. Notice how it's all about the labels. I start with the label and then I find the identity ratio that works. Now I'm in pints, that's what I want, so now I can do the math. 3.5 times 4 times 2 gives me 28 pint. Convert 2 weeks to hours. Okay, so we start with 2 weeks. Well, what do you know about weeks? Well, there's 7 days in a week, so weeks go on the bottom, right? Opposite positioning for your labels. So I can say in 1 week, there are 7 days. Okay, so that gets rid of my week label. And I want to go to hours. Well, in 1 day, there are 24 hours. Again, make sure label in the numerator matches a label in the denominator. They have to cancel out and reduce. Now that I'm in the correct units, now I can do the math. 2 times 7 times 24 gives me 336 hours in 2 weeks. Let's do one more. 428 ounces to quarts. Okay, so 428 ounces is what I start with, and we're talking about liquid. So I know there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. Okay, so that gets me out of ounces. I know there are 2 cups in 1 pint, so that gets me out of cups. And then I know there are 2 pints in 1 quart. That gets me out of pints into quarts where I want to be. Now you'll notice a lot of the other ones that we did had numbers in the numerator. So the idea is if your numbers are in the numerator, you multiply. If the numbers are in the denominator, you divide. So I will start with 428. 8's in the denominator, so I divide by 8. 2 is in the denominator, so I divide by 2. Another 2 in the denominator, so I divide by 2. And you can type it in your calculator just like that. 428 divided by 8 divided by 2 divided by 2 gives me 13.375 quarts, also known as 13 3/8 quarts, if you prefer a fractional answer.